She laughed at me. So that's all I'm saying.
That's what we like it.
Yeah, she laughed at me. She was like, ha 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 ha, no. So she ain't even pray about it and nothing, so she ain't spiritual. She ain't spiritual. She ain't praying. Amen. But let's go on and get started. I do pray that as we're going through these lessons, that have anybody ever paid attention to the tree that's on each lesson?
Yeah.
Okay. The tree, so now I don't know if I ever went through that or not, but the tree represents different roots that are attached to that spirit. Okay, although it may not necessarily go through it in that chapter, but it's still different things that are a product of what that spirit produces, and tells you, it gives you different scriptures. So, you know, in your personal study time, which I pray you're doing, you're looking at these things and you're studying these things to help build you up, okay? All right. So, it starts off by saying, jealousy, along with pride, are probably the oldest sins in the universe. They occurred before the earth, as we know it now, was created. Lucifer was perfect, beautiful, and occupied the highest standing among God's created beings. He became jealous of God. Jealousy is mentioned by name in Numbers 5:14. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will be like the Most High. Also, you have Isaiah 14:12 through 14, and Ezekiel 28:12 through 19. Somebody get Isaiah, somebody get Ezekiel. And while you're getting that, isn't it amazing how a lot of times people think that angels are just, for lack of a better term, mindless, and they just just follow all of God's commands. And we see here plainly and clearly that that's not the case, but that they do have choice. They do have free will, and that's the same way in which we were created. We have choice, we have free will, and it's up to us how we're going to do things. And truthfully, people that operate in jealousy is really by choice. People are jealous and hateful by choice. Because honestly, the only reason you're jealous of another person is because you spend a whole lot of time focused on what they're doing, and you're comparing it to where you are, and you're really not satisfied with the place you've developed to, and so now you blame them, although they've done absolutely nothing, but you blame them, you hate on them, and really it's your lack of ingenuity, it's your lack of working, it's your lack or your inability to do what you need to do to accomplish what it is you need to accomplish. Am I making sense? Yeah. Anybody got those scriptures for me? Here, pass those to the back. You can give them out as they come in. Who got Isaiah 14:12 through 14? Okay, read.
How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nation. For you have said it in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest side of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High.
Jealousy will have you competing with people you don't even compare with. I'll say it again. Jealousy will have you competing with people. Y'all can open these doors and prop them open. It's getting warm in here. Yes. Jealousy will have you competing with people you don't even compare with. And a lot of times we compete with folk and we really ain't even a factor to them. Ain't even on their radar. I listen to all these people. I'm a LeBron fan, okay? I don't care who like Golden State. Right now, I think you sinning. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm a LeBron fan, okay? But did you just wear your hand at me, bro, Gary?
Is that what you saw?
So sad, so sad. My director, intercessory prayer, need prayer. But I'm a LeBron fan all day long, okay? And there are so many people who can't stand the man. Ain't never met him.
That's right.
Never been in the room with him. Never had a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And don't compare to him.
Yeah.
But yet and still, if you ask them, don't yawn because I'm talking about LeBron. If you ask them why they don't like him, they can't tell you.
Sometimes.
And that's the same way we do even with the people we see week by week and sit next to. I don't like her. Why? Well, so-and-so said, how you know what they said is valid?
Right.
But see, the spirit of jealousy, first of all, will have you thinking stuff you ought not be thinking, and then have you trying stuff you ought not be trying. Why are you not satisfied with the position God put you in?
Right.
And that was Satan's issue. That was Lucifer's issue. He had a good spot, but that wasn't good enough. And that's how many of us act even today. No matter how much God does, no matter what God does, no matter what God allows us to do, it ain't good enough. And so we're constantly working, we're constantly trying to get more, and that's how we end up getting ourselves out of the will of God, and then we get upset because God is using her in the way I wanted to be used. You know, God gave her the voice, He didn't give me the voice. And so every time she sings, I'm trying to critique every little note she do. Oh, she was flat on that part. Oh, she ought not sing that song no more.
Right.
And then the first thing somebody say, why are you acting like that? Why are you hating? I ain't hating, I'm just saying. You just saying you full of hate. All right, Ezekiel, this is going to be a fun lesson for me. Okay. Ezekiel 28:12-19, who has that?
Son of man, take up the lamentations upon the king of Tyre, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the son full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, the topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, and the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. And they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be anymore.
Now, in the beginning, y'all know who he's talking to, right? Okay, he's talking to Lucifer.
Right.
Now, you see in the beginning, all that stuff he had going on. He had it going on. But see, this is what jealousy does. Jealousy causes you to ignore what you got to focus on the one thing you don't. It causes you to ignore every good thing you have going on and be bent out of shape because your car is a 98 and theirs is a 99.
You are so right.
But when you look at the car, ain't no difference in it.
Right.
They ain't changed nothing.
Right.
They just put a new year on it and added $10,000.
Oh my God.
And so as a result, because of his jealousy, it caused him to lose all the good stuff he had. And so in the process, he says, I'm going to cause men to look at you like you crazy. Why are they looking at me like that? Because your jealousy has destroyed all the good stuff that will come from you, and now everything you touch, it don't prosper. Wow. Every time you open up your mouth, all we get is hatred and frustration. Because you were chasing something that wasn't yours. Understand, God has given you what it is you're supposed to have.
Already.
That's why you have the gifting you have and I don't have it. Because I wasn't supposed to have that gift.
Right. Right.
So we have to learn how to start being satisfied in the gift we have and start developing and growing into the person God has created us to be. You will never develop into who you are if you're always trying to be somebody else.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why I tell people all the time, stop walking around talking about something, I'm going to fake it till I make it. No. Because if you do that, you get comfortable in that, then you never make it.
That's right.
You get used to being a counterfeit. You get used to being fake and phony. Because faking it till I make it says, I'm just going to do what I got to do so I can blend in, not so that I can stand out and be a star on my own.
Wow.
I said a long time ago, I post on social media. And, I like to post things that make people think and create conversation and stuff like that. And I said some time ago that if they don't share their stage, get you a hammer and some nails and build your own.
That's right.
That's right.
But jealousy says,
I take that.
because they got a stage, and I see how they're cheering for him or her, I want that, so I want their stage. Not realizing the price a person had to pay to get what they got.
That's right.
But we're trying to covet and we want somebody else's ability to preach, or somebody else's preaching style, or somebody else's singing style. You don't know the hell they went through just to be comfortable like they are.
Yes.
Right.
And truth be told, a lot of times they ain't comfortable.
Sure ain't. Yes. You right.
Hello, somebody.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Learn how to be comfortable in you. Be who you are. It says, because of his rebellion, Lucifer was melted down to his present form of Satan, the ruler of darkness, and thrown out of heaven. Don't let your jealousy cause you to be kicked out of God's presence.
Thank you. Thank
Don't let your jealousy cause you to be set down. In essence, that's what happened to Lucifer. He was set down. He was set down permanently. It ain't worth it.
No, it ain't. I agree. You're so right.
Am I making sense?
Yes, you are.
Okay, it says, later God recreated our present world and placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. He longed to have relationship on a daily basis with the world's first couple. I highlighted a beautiful atmosphere of love and unity pervaded the garden until Satan entered the picture. My note says, when good, peaceful things turn bad, look for Satan. if everything is going good, the next thing you know, it's like the bottom done fell out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Start looking for Satan.
Yeah.
Because anything that you're doing that's going to bring glory to God, he's going to try to sabotage.
You're right.
Yeah.
And see, we have to get to the place, though, where we begin to really understand that this is really a spirit in operation, because some people don't know you not to like you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's true.
They don't know you.
That's
I was just telling them earlier how there are so many people who I don't know so much about me and can't stand me.
Yes.
Yep.
But I ain't never met them, ain't never had a conversation, ain't never went to lunch.
Yes. Right.
And the very people that's always got something negative to say about somebody else, understand those same people were being treated good at one point by this very person that they dogged.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And so if the added is that a dog that'll bring a bone to carry a bone,
That's what you're saying.
you ain't got nothing coming.
Yes. Yes.
But how are you gonna be upset and jealous and frustrated about things and people you don't know about?
Okay.
Oh my God. I was telling you.
So when stuff starts shifting and stuff start going wrong, and see, a lot of times you can feel that spirit of jealousy rising up in you, and sometimes it just come out of the blue.
Yes. Yes.
You see something, you see somebody, you're like, you start turning up your face. And then somebody asks you, what's wrong with you? Oh, nothing. I don't like the way she walking in them shoes. They ain't your shoes.
That's right.
Why you bent out of shape
Yes.
about what belongs to somebody else?
That's right. That's right.
And it really goes to a deeper issue that talks about your own insecurities and your own ability to undervalue who you are.
Yes.
If you're not satisfied with you and where God has you, then you'll never be satisfied with anything else. I don't care how much of my stuff you may get. It'll never be enough.
That's right.
You'll always have that compulsion where I need to have more, because you're trying to find something to satisfy you, because you've ignored the things of God that were meant to satisfy you, to bring you joy and fulfillment. You've placed those things to the side because the stuff that God gave you wasn't as glamorous as you wanted it to be.
Right.
So you want the
Breaking it
stuff that
down.
puts you out front, the
Yeah.
stuff that's going to put you in the limelight. And you have to realize that sometimes the limelight has certain things or certain attacks that's already assigned to those positions. And if you can't handle the position you get in the dark, you definitely can't handle the position in the light.
Yeah. That's it.
We keep it real.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. So it says, and Adam and Eve sinned, breaking the cord of fellowship with God, and soon had to adjust to a different environment outside of the garden. Jealousy puts you in the place where you have to adjust everything. Not only does it destroy your what is this? Your lateral, or what's this? Is this lateral or horizontal? This is horizontal. So not only does it destroy your horizontal relationship, but it destroys your lateral relationships. You can't go higher in God while going deeper in sin.
Yes.
My Lord, my Lord.
You need to tweak that one. That was good. Tweak that one. It's impossible to do. Okay? And jealousy, the spirit of jealousy, causes you to take your eye off of God's promise for your life. How are you going to dictate the gift and the call God gave me? That's my call.
Yes.
That's my calling to fulfill. I don't know why he preaching that. I don't like that sermon. I don't like that he preached that way. It ain't your calling to fulfill.
Right.
That's right. That's true.
Why he always using her? Because that's her job. And then when somebody asks you to do your job,
Show.
you start doing that doggone beatboxing. They
Amen.
just hate on me. They don't want me to shine. They don't want me to. No, I want you to do what you've been called to do.
Right. Right.
Because if you do what you've been called to do, then you develop in that area, then you blossom in that area, and the body is the better for it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The body cannot grow if everybody in place is jealous of everybody else.
Amen.
Because everybody's I don't need the ushers trying to be a nurse.
Yes. Yes.
Because if the usher's trying to be a nurse, not in the nurse's way, who gonna stand on the go?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
It says, Satan regained dominion of the earth in this way through the fall of man. I have a note that says, every time you sin, you give Satan more and more control.
Yes.
We do.
Touch your neighbor and say, you don't have to sin.
You don't have
You don't have to
to.
see.
You choose to.
You choose to. You choose to.
I know Flip Wilson said it. You know, devil made me do it. I don't know who
Yes.
Flip Wilson is. You're a little young. But, you know, that was his thing. The devil made me do it.
That's
The
right.
devil didn't make you do nothing.
That's right.
He presented an option that you found viable because it was already in your heart to begin with.
Yes. Yes.
You do not produce what's not in you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Amen.
Can't nobody make you sin. I can't make you fall out of relationship with God. They making me mad. I ain't making you nothing. You become what's in you because you don't check the issue. You don't deal with it. And so because we don't deal with it, it begins to grow and it begins to fester. And so all that Satan does is he just comes to water that seed, talking about something, well, you know, you see how she was looking at you anyway. She don't like you. And you know you don't like her, so you might as well keep it real and tell her
That's
about
true.
herself. You know, matter of fact, you know, they don't like her either. So you might as well go over there with that group, talk to that group about how you feel about her. And next thing you know, now we got 10 people jumping on one person. And that one person talking about something, I ain't did nothing to nobody. But she forgot that she had an issue with one of the people in the group. But, you know, because she refused to get it straight and the other person refused to get it straight. So because of the pride that we have, jealousy then ensues.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And it's a big mess.
And now it's a big mess.
Yes, sir.
All over a simple misunderstanding.
Yes, sir.
Because somebody said something and didn't really understand what you said.
Right. Exactly.
They didn't understand how you meant it.
Correct.
One of the biggest ways to cause a fight, start texting somebody.
Okay.
Because when you texting, you don't understand and you can't hear the tone and the spirit in which a person is talking to you.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely
And so
right.
the first thing you do is you go off the deep end and start jumping to all types of conclusions.
That's
And
right.
so when you respond, I mean, y'all ever seen them angry texters? I mean, them folks that, I mean, they angry. Well, I love watching angry texters because they be
Yep.
about to break their phone and you texting in all caps and you know emoji and all this other.
Yep.
Wow, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. All because a person said, okay. That's all they said. You said, go to the stove, bring me some milk, bring me some eggs. I want this type of bread. I don't want this kind. I need this kind of cheese. He respond, okay. That's all you got to say out of all I done said? Ain't nothing left to say.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay just mean okay. No, that means you got an attitude. No, that just mean okay. But because our communication is flawed, and nobody in that whole exchange has enough sense to say, let me call you so I can talk to you. And in the beginning of this chapter, it talked about how jealousy is a breeding ground for pride, and pride keeps you from doing anything that makes sense to bring about a peaceful resolution. Oh, that was good. But that's what pride will do to you. So I watch who I have text conversations with.
I know you do. I don't blame
Because
you.
I got a cousin, Lord God, and she watches these These lessons, I love you, but I'm about to talk about you. So, she'll be driving, she'll be eating, and having a text argument all at the same time.
No.
Oh yeah, and putting my life in jeopardy in the process because I'm on the passenger side.
Some of y'all do the same.
And the whole time I'm sitting there, yes, I'm wrong with it, but the whole time I'm sitting there saying, just call them.
Yes, exactly.
But then she called and he won't answer the phone. And then he texts back, I don't want to talk right now. But then they keep on text arguing.
Oh, wow.
It ain't that he don't want to talk, it's that your pride done got in the way of causing you to not want a peaceful resolution.
Yes. Yes.
So true.
And jealousy will do the same thing.
Yes, yes.
It keeps you from getting stuff straight.
Yep.
Keeps you from getting on the same plane with your brothers and sisters.
Yes, Lord.
It keeps you from saying, you know what? I don't want to fight you.
That's right.
I don't want to argue about this.
That's right.
Really ain't that big a deal.
That's right.
You know, they asked you to bring the flowers this time. That's cool. This is where I got them from.
Yeah. 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 Thank you.
And we have the biggest struggle in church.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason we have this biggest struggle in church is because in church we feel we have a monopoly on positions we hold.
Oh, wow.
So we don't believe that our season can ever be up and it can be somebody else's turn. Because the position we hold is what we use to validate who we are.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You ever talk to somebody, you ask them who are they, or you ask them to tell them or tell you about them, and the first thing they start doing is telling you all the stuff they do?
Oh my God.
That's not who you are. That's just what you do.
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought
Yeah.
like that.
Who are you?
I wouldn't have thought like that.
They don't know who they are because what they do is what they're using to define who they are.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And so when you don't know who you are, then you're chasing anything that's going to put you in the light, and you hate on anybody that's getting more shine than you. Because we equate status with being known.
Jesus Christ.
Be honest with you, I don't know what type of name I got in the city. I don't know what folks say about. But I try to live in such a way that they ain't got nothing but say, hey, I don't really know him. I can't say nothing. I don't know him. Because I've gotten to the place, but I got to focus on Alton. Alton has goals. Alton has dreams. And if I'm driving down 96 and I'm too busy looking in the left lane, trying to go straight, eventually, because of where I'm looking, my car gonna start shifting.
Show do. Show do.
Your life will shift in the direction you constantly look.
Yes.
And that's why you got so many accidents in your life now, because you looking all over the place. Haven't learned how to fix on one thing or get that thing together. I was told a long time ago, son, learn to do one thing well.
That's right.
Before you start trying to do everything all right. No. Get one thing together.
All right.
Learn how to master you. Focus on you.
Yes.
Be concerned about where you going.
Yes.
I can't critique your gift. Let me get my gift together first. You understand what I'm saying? Don't let jealousy or the spirit of jealousy cause you to miss out on a great worship experience and cause you to miss out on the giftings of other people because you mad because God gave them something he didn't give you. And again, we mad at them because of what God did. You want to be mad at somebody, be mad at God. Fuss with him.
Yeah.
So you ain't going to do that. So you'd rather give your neighbor hell. Cause their hair to fall out, not their head at home crying. Talking about don't nobody in the church like me, and there's only one person.
That's right.
We have to stop blaming the entire body for the actions of one individual.
Amen.
You got one person who ain't vibing with you, deal with that one person.
Right.
Quit telling everybody.
That's right.
Why are we so quick to rehearse what we don't like about a person? And then when they come tell you, you stop condoning that mess.
Yes, sir.
Talking about some, I know what you talking about, you lying. You don't know. Because just like that person ain't did nothing to them, they ain't did nothing to you, the person only been in the church 2 months.
Yep. Yes.
They trying to take my spot. You ain't got no spot.
That's right. That's right.
My prayer is one day that all the faithful members come in and they ain't got no seat because we got all these new people.
Amen. Yeah. That was
That's my prayer.
Amen.
Quit trying to be beholden to, this one ministry. God done told you to do something else, but, what he done called you to do, you ain't gonna be the leader over that. You just gonna be a member. You got to get down the floor. I don't want to do that because over here, everybody got to answer to me, but over there, I got to answer to somebody else.
That's how I do. That's right.
Okay, let me go on and keep reading. It says, members of the human race who cooperate with him until he is cast into the bottomless pit at the end of the Great Tribulation, after he is released for a season at the close of the millennium, which he's talking about the millennium reign, he will be cast into his final destination, into the lake of fire. That's Revelations 20:1. Somebody get that real quick. Revelations 20:1. Somebody got it? That's in the New Testament. The last book of the Bible.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand.
Understand, if you keep operating in the spirit of jealousy, you're going to be right there in the bottomless pit with Satan. Y'all don't be looking at each other. And he ain't going to be nice to you. He's going to send you through some stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth God taking his hand off you. It's not worth you losing your anointing. It's not worth you losing your gifting. It's not worth you losing your position in the kingdom. Be you. And be unapologetically, authentically you. I had to get used to Sister Rogers with that blonde hair. I wasn't jealous because she switched up. I was surprised. But she's her. You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
Learn how to be unapologetically you. Be authentic.
Yes.
You ain't got to hate on nobody trying to get something.
That's true.
If you put the work in
All right.
into your own dream, your own vision, your own goal, then your stuff will happen just like theirs.
Yes.
Well, it just come natural for some people. You don't see the behind the scenes stuff. And we get so hung up on what we see in public, but we don't understand what's happening in private.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's right.
Stop wishing you had what somebody else had.
All
You
right.
don't know who to.
Because to get what they had, you're gonna have to go the way they went. You might, if you can't deal with the way you going, how you gonna deal? At least you know the way you going. You got some semi understanding of it. Am I making sense? Okay. Murder. Twice. The Bible says that Cain was wroth and his countenance fell. He was mad and he went into depression. Genesis 4, 5, and 6 says people who will not control their anger are opening themselves up to the strong man of jealousy. Again, and y'all need to highlight that. People who will not control their anger are opening themselves up to the strong man of jealousy. Again, you have a choice. I can't emphasize that enough. You have a choice. Stop saying, I was so mad I lost control. You ain't that mad. But because it was already in your heart, because you've been looking for a reason to fly off the handle anyway. So that just gave you your reason. You're always in control of you. But again, remember, like I said, you cannot go higher in God while going deeper in sin. So the more, or the greater your lack of self-control, the greater your propensity to sin.
Yep. Yep.
Stop going places where you know you can't control the outcome.
All right.
Stop getting with people if you know you can't control yourself when they come in the room.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
They just trying to tempt me. No, they ain't trying to tempt you. They minding their own business. You stop putting yourself in situations where you are tempted to do what it is you know you ought not be doing, but as soon as you do it, now you feel like crap. Now you back to praying and you crying for 3 days. Now you done got your little shut-in going. You ain't talking to nobody. All because you was in a place where you knew going here was going to cause you to end up in the very place you in, and you said, no, I got this. I'm in control of this. No, you're not in control. So oftentimes we're lying to ourselves. We're deceiving ourselves, thinking we can handle stuff when we know we can't. You know you ain't past something whenever time you hear about a certain person or you hear a certain person's name, you get all pissed off.
Right,
Then you know you ain't ready yet.
right.
You got to go back on the potter's wheel. You ain't ready.
Right.
Every time I see them, I just see red. You ain't ready yet. Go back on the potter's wheel.
Right.
You ain't ready.
That's right.
Because anytime people have that ability to control you and they ain't even said nothing, and they ain't even touched you, then apparently that's your God.
Right.
People are like, well, they just know what buttons to push. Why are you that easy to figure out?
Yeah.
How they pushing your buttons like that?
Yep.
Why you giving that much of yourself to anybody where they can control and manipulate you just like that?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm in love. No, you a fool. I ain't love. Love is not manipulation. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Love is not slavery. Love is not bondage.
Amen.
Hello.
Amen.
All right. All right. He goes down and starts talking about, I got a highlight. He says, when people go beyond their normal limits or go into rage where people push them beyond their normal limits, again, they talk about, I don't know why I did it. That's the common phrase heard by law enforcement officers. And my note says, the reason you did it is because of your lack of control. You always know why you've done what you've done. It's just you realize saying it out loud, the reason is really stupid. Oh, you know why you did what you did. You ever thought some stuff in your head and it made sense until you said it out loud to somebody else and they looked at you like,
What?
what?
Do it all the time.
And then you try to justify what you said, and it only gets worse. I got a son that does that. Do it to me all the time. They be having a conversation. He be like, well, you know, I'm gonna go to school, but you know, I ain't gonna do this. I'm gonna go to school and I ain't gonna do the homework.
Wow.
That made sense to me.
No.
Or he tells me, well, I'm gonna try this, and he gives me all these wonderful business plans he has.
Mhm.
And then he'll say something real crazy like, but I'm gonna do it by myself. You need people, you need education.
Mhm.
And oftentimes when we really start talking to people about some of the stuff, if we learn how to talk some things through, it'll keep us from doing a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But see, you have to have people in your life who are balanced.
Oh, my God.
Everybody in your life can't be off balance like you. Agreeing with everything you say because we friends. No. That don't make no sense.
Right.
That don't make a friend either.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of us really ain't got no real friends. Because a real friend, okay, y'all know, I told y'all I watch YouTube for the funny stuff, okay? YouTube and Facebook, I be on there scrolling for the funny stuff, okay? I like to laugh.
Okay.
I saw a video of this lady, and she had on these shoes that she's trying to walk in these shoes now, but the shoes is like this, and so her feet is like, looking like at any minute somebody bumper is over, and it's over, good and over. I mean over. So not only was the shoe screaming for mercy, she had on this dress. This is why I tell y'all, come to church dress Jesus friendly. She had on this dress that stopped about where my shirt stops.
Oh, my.
Okay? Now she ain't a little girl. Praise the Lord. She ain't a little girl. Not no stretch of the imagination. Dress had holes and splits and on purpose. That's what the dress had in it. Okay? Good gust of wind. You just saw her hello, amen. So, and she's walking around and she's with a group of people.
And nobody told her?
She's with a group of people. But nobody told her. Not only do you look like a prostitute, but you take them shoes off and put on something that's going to work with your feet. And put on some clothes.
All right.
Because you're going out with us. And see, we don't realize the people that we have attached to us really represent us. And even your lack of saying anything to them to correct their behavior really throws you in the same pot.
That's right. That's right.
But here's the bad part. In that video, I saw only guys. I ain't seen no women with her. So you know what that said to me? The only reason they kept her around is because if she's willing to come out looking like that, she's searching to be accepted. She's looking for some fulfillment. And I just need somebody to use anyway. And already she don't care because her appearance suggests she don't care. And so I'm going to treat her based on her appearance.
Yes.
So apparently every mirror in her house was broken. She didn't have no real friends. But in her mind, if any woman was looking at her, oh, they must be jealous of her. And see, jealousy makes you delusional.
Okay.
It had you thinking you doing something, you really ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You're just making a spectacle of yourself.
Okay.
And so consequently, not only do we murder in the physical sense, but then we murder and character assassinate with our words. And we talk about, well, I don't know why I said that. No, you know why you said it. Because you wanted to tear them down. You wanted to bring them down. You wanted to depress them. You wanted to hurt their feelings. You wanted them to feel less than you. That's why you said it. Because you were sitting there planning, plotting, waiting on the time to say it.
Yep.
All because you jealous of something that God never gave you in the first place. We fighting to get stuff. God never told us we could have.
Wait.
And so when it's withheld from us, oh, that's the devil. No, sometimes it's God. Because God understands you ain't ready for that. You can't handle that. Because if you get it, then it's going to take you down a different path that I didn't design for you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talks about Joseph. Y'all know the story of Joseph? One coat of many colors. Brother sold him, tricked him, hated on him because he was the youngest. But God was exalting him above everybody else. And the reality is, and y'all read about Joseph later, but the reality is they couldn't understand how God took the least and made him the greatest. But when you learn to stay out of God's business, you just start being happy at the fact that, hey, at least you in my bloodline.
Right.
All right now.
Right.
Although I might not be the one to do it, you in my bloodline, so because you succeeded, I succeeded.
Amen.
Right.
Because you made it, I made it. You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
I highlighted one part. It says, his 10 elder brothers could see the significance of this, and it triggered jealous, hateful, murderous thoughts. Whenever you see God getting ready to do something good for somebody else, and it starts triggering jealousy in you, you start sitting there all bent out of shape. That ain't normal.
That ain't normal. Jesus.
And that ain't God. You need to check yourself. Be sitting there plotting on ways, trying to knock somebody off. Watching how to get away with murder, taking notes. That ain't God. My note says, most times it is nothing you have done. It is just the promise on your life. And people figure if they can move you, then the promise will die. Joseph didn't do nothing to his brothers. He was just born. But because they don't like the promise, they don't like the direction you're going, they don't like where God is taking you.
Yep.
And it's not always the people outside of your house as we can see. They say a lot of times that friends will do you in, but family will finish you off. And it's bad when you come to church and you got to wonder if they gonna pray for you or pray on you. It shouldn't be that way.
Amen.
You ain't got to be jealous of nobody's gift or how God is exalting anybody in the body. We have to start getting back to the place where we learn how to celebrate the accomplishments and the achievements of other people.
Yes.
I get excited when the folk around me win.
Amen.
Y'all heard me talk about the saucer and the cup? You know, if ever you go to a restaurant and you ask them for a cup of coffee, most times, if they don't pour it at your table, they go away and make it, but they bring it with a saucer. And so as they're coming with the coffee just steadily rocking and shaking. But it's falling into the saucer. And the saucer is holding what spilled out, so you haven't lost any of your coffee. All you got to do is take what's in the saucer, pour it back in the cup. And that's the same way we have to be excited for other people when they start doing well. I may not be the cup, but the Lord knows I'm going to be the saucer.
Hallelujah. Look at that.
So I'm going to get the overflow, whatever it is you got. And as it falls on me, I'm going to get some too. But because I'm so happy for you, I'm going to pour back into you.
Right.
I'm going to tap back into you. I'm going to keep telling you to go ahead, you can do it. But I can't do it if I'm operating in the spirit of jealousy.
All right.
So if I'm operating in the spirit of jealousy, every time you do good, I'm going to find something you've done wrong to outshadow what you've done good. You ever met people, no matter how well you do, it ain't never good enough?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They always bring it up, well, remember when so-and-so did this? Man, that was 20 years ago. Why are we still talking about that?
Yes, yes.
Spirit of jealousy. Where's my time at? Okay, 7:51, I'm closing, I'm done. We'll pick up with revenge next week. We'll start with revenge next week. You got a question? You'll have a question next week. So you're gonna prepare your question.
Oh, I want to know. That's what I'll ask you.
You'll ask me next week. Why you wanna wait till next week?
Put it in a little.
Lord Jesus. Well,
Might be a little cousin.
y'all praise God for our YouTube family. Y'all praise God for our YouTube family. I want to say thank you so much for joining us, tuning in on tonight. As always, you are more than welcome to come and worship with us at 8806 Mack Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. Listen, right now we are in the midst of a wonderful, wonderful series dealing with relationships. You don't want to miss that. You want to come be a part of that. So come on out here with us. And listen, for the rest of the summer, we're dressing down. So don't let that be your excuse for not coming to church. You ain't got nothing to wear. Don't even matter. We're going to all be in jeans, all right? I look to see you soon. And remember, Samaritan kids. God bless you.
Amen.